Good morning and thanks for joining us for 23 ABC News at 11 a.m. on this post-election day. I'm Danielle Kernkamp. After record early and mail-in votes and tens of millions of votes cast on Election Day, the race for the White House is still too early and too close to call. Neither President Trump nor former Vice President Biden have 270 electoral votes needed to be declared the winner. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington following the latest developments.
It looks like the election experts were right. Counting the massive number of mail-in and absentee votes in the battleground states is taking some time, leaving the nation waiting to learn whether President Trump or former Vice President Joe Biden will be in the White House on Inauguration Day. The record number of early votes created temporary leads for Joe Biden in Ohio and Donald Trump in Virginia, only to have those leads change again when more votes were counted.
We are now projecting that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio. We have another state to project, and it is the state of Virginia. It is going to Joe Biden.
Those ebbs and flows leading to the uncertainty we have today. But that did not stop President Trump from falsely declaring victory just before 2:30 this morning, alleging fraud and demanding that no more votes be counted. He even stated he would be going to the Supreme Court.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
But legal experts say the president has no case.
Down the road, might the Supreme Court get involved? It's possible, but they're certainly not going to stop these votes from being counted.
Meanwhile, also early this morning, the former vice president urging his supporters to be patient as all the votes are being counted.
I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. It ain't over till every vote is counted, every ballot is counted.
That advice appears to be sound, as states like Wisconsin and Michigan, where Biden was trailing, he is now pulled into the lead. But that doesn't mean Biden has won those states, as they are still counting votes, and the lead could change again. The Biden campaign calling the president's comments outrageous, and state officials like Pennsylvania's attorney general say millions of legitimate ballots are still outstanding and will be counted.
We're going to make sure here in Pennsylvania that we respect the will of the people. The law says count every eligible vote, and that's exactly what's happening all across Pennsylvania.
Right now, both campaigns are still confident they have a path to victory. The Trump campaign saying they think outstanding votes in Arizona and Pennsylvania will go their way. Meanwhile, the Biden camp says they believe he'll rebuild that blue wall. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
California's 21st Congressional District is once again a competitive race between incumbent TJ Cox and David Valadeo. Right now, challenger David Valadeo has about a 3-point lead over Representative Cox. About 3,000 votes separate the two. The 21st District represents a large portion of Southeast Bakersfield, the cities of Wasco, McFarland, and Delano, and parts of Fresno, Tulare, and Kings counties. The TJ Cox campaign held a virtual election night party last night, while Valadeo held an outdoor gathering in Lemoore. Both candidates had been saying that they did not expect a final result on Election Day, anticipating the race being too close to call.
Light overcomes the darkness, and hope defeats fear. We wouldn't have won our last election, nor would we on our way to achieving my re-election without your unwavering support.
We knew going in that it was going to be a long night, if not a long few days. But no, the amount of turnout, or the very high turnout that we did get, and folks sending their ballots early, we knew it was going to be a long process to count them through.
If you remember, back in 2018, these two men also fought for the same seat. It ended up being one of the closest races in the country, with Cox winning by just over 800 votes. Remember, these are all unofficial results right now. And now to the race for the 23rd Congressional District. Congressman Kevin McCarthy seeking his 8th term in District 23 in the House of Representatives. With 100% of precincts reporting, McCarthy has a 58% of the vote to Kim Mangon's 42%. McCarthy also posted to Twitter this morning declaring victory in his bid for re-election. Kim Mangon sent a statement to 23 ABC saying, quote, "While we recognize the challenge ahead, we should wait for all the votes to be counted before making a judgment. I'd like to thank all of our volunteers and supporters for faith in our campaign and for making this a competitive campaign that fought for the issues most important to our region." McCarthy also held a press conference this morning talking about Donald Trump's bid for re-election.
I think a lot of the networks probably called Arizona too soon when I'm looking at what the data that's coming back. I would put Arizona back in the column of undecided right now. I think he looks very good in Pennsylvania. Michigan, I think we can watch, is going to come very close, but I think the president has an opportunity to win that. I think at the end of the day, the president will be elected for 4 more years.
You can watch his full press conference on our 23 ABC Facebook page. All right, let's bring in Elena Rusk now, get a check of this post-election day forecast and see what's in store for us the rest of the week. Elena.
Yeah, pretty warm and dry. That high pressure still in control here. And as it moves off to our east, it'll get stronger. Region coming down from the Creek Fire and the SQF Complex Fire, filling into Central California, and unfortunately still a lot here in the South Valley as well. So we're at 72 right now here in Bakersfield. Heading into your noon hour, we get to enjoy those 70s. If you have lunch plans outside, try and soak in that mid 74 that we have out there, and then 78 are high at 3 p.m. Back down to those low 70s by 6 p.m. So you see, really feeling fantastic the next several hours. But then it's much colder this weekend, and that forecast is coming up.
Now to some of the state races in the California Assembly. In the 32nd District, incumbent Rudy Salas seeking a 5th term in the Assembly. He's leading his challenger, Hanford farmer Todd Cotta. In District 34, Republican Vince Fong has a significant lead to retain his seat, Fong being challenged by Julie Solis. Right now, Fong with 64% of the vote to 36% for Solis. Again, these results are unofficial. And we've made our voting decisions. We've turned in our ballots. So now what? Well, first, the elections office first compares the signature on your ballot with the signature from your voter resignation to verify your identity. Then your ballot is run through an electronic machine that's certified by the California Secretary of State. It scans your ballot, documenting what you did and did not vote for. The main reason your vote might not be counted is a mismatched signature.
If that's the case, they've reviewed the signatures that they have on file. There's usually multiple people that look at it. And then the voter will be notified that their signature doesn't match, and they have an opportunity to come correct that.
Pearson says if this were to happen, you would receive a letter in the mail and have 8 days to reply to verify your identity. And slow and steady counting will determine the results of the presidential race. The California Secretary of State reports that California has 30 days to verify votes. That means that the presidential and local election results can come in as late as December 3rd.
The California system was meant to be slow. It was never meant to be a fast process. It's slow by design for purposes of making sure that fraud isn't being committed. It's slow for purposes of making sure that every vote counts. It's slow for purposes of making sure that the franchise of voting is actually protected.
Provisional ballots and vote by mail are the forms of voting responsible for a slower voting process. Still to come here at 11 a.m., we are taking a look at state propositions. Stay with us.
So did we go back live while I was in?
Welcome back. It appears we have a clearer picture of who will be joining the Bakersfield City Council. In Ward 1, with all 40 precincts reporting, Eric Arias has a significant lead over Gilberto De La Torre. Arias has 76% of the vote, with De La Torre taking 24%. In Ward 6, a new council member for the first time since 1995 after longtime councilwoman Jackie Sullivan announced that she would not seek re-election this year. Right now, all 31 precincts reporting, Patty Gray has a significant lead over the other three candidates, Gray holding 46% of that vote. Californians also had a dozen propositions on their ballot. Proposition 14 issues $5.5 billion in bonds for state stem cell research institute. You can see 51% for right now. Proposition 15 requires commercial and industrial properties to be tax based on market value and dedicates revenue. Right now, that one 52% against. Proposition 16 repeals affirmative action. Prop 209, which says the state cannot discriminate or grant preferential treatment based on race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in public employment, education, or contracting. Right now, that's 56% against. Prop 17 restores the right to vote to people convicted of felonies who are on parole. Right now, 59% for. Prop 18 allows 17-year-olds who will be 18 at the time of the next general election to vote in primaries and special elections. Right now, that one 55% against. Prop 19 changes tax assessment transfers and inheritance rules. Right now, 52% for. Prop 20 makes changes to policies related to criminal sentencing charges, prison release, and DNA collection. Right now, 62% against. Prop 21 expands local government's power to use rent control. Right now, 60% against. This is all with 99% of precincts reporting. Prop 22 considers app-based drivers to be independent contractors and enacts several labor policies related to app-based companies. This is a big one, 58% for. Prop 23 requires a physician on site at dialysis clinics and consent from the state for a clinic to close. Right now, 64% against. And Prop 24. This expands the provisions of the California Consumer Privacy Act and creates the California Privacy Protection Agency to implement and enforce the CCPA. Prop 25 replaces cash bail with risk assessments for suspects awaiting trial. Right now, 55% against. All right, let's bring in Elena Rusk once again. Get another big check of our forecast on this Wednesday, Elena.
Yeah, starting off pretty nice. You have 70s for most of the county. Here on the valley floor, down into the Kern River Valley, Tehachapi, the desert. And we're heading into another warm afternoon today and tomorrow. Some upper 70s expected in the valley as those two high pressures slide away from each other, allowing this trough to dig in. So this is Friday afternoon, and there is some increasing cloud cover, winds, and colder air coming on shore. And then as that cold front with this low sweeps over our region, gives us a chance for some showers, maybe even snow flurries in the mountains. Right now, it doesn't look like it'll stick, but we'll keep a close eye on that forecast for Saturday into Sunday, and still even on Monday out there. You are seeing that we have that cold air filling in with those 50s expected. Quite different than the 70s we're expecting today and tomorrow. Next week, the 60s are back, and that's pretty nice for Veterans Day. Quick look in the mountains shows you low 80s in the Kern River Valley today and tomorrow, fall to the 40s this weekend. You're freezing overnight this weekend, obviously colder in Tehachapi and Fraser Park. It's only a 40% chance of scattered showers and snow, but that is better than the forecast was for this weekend when we were looking at it earlier this week. So we'll continue to analyze it. Danielle.
Still to come, if you're feeling anxious, we have some ways to wind down from that election stress. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's a condition called election stress disorder. One doctor who studies and treats PTSD says the volatility of the political landscape adds to the pandemic anxiety people were already dealing with.
A certain percentage of those people are going to develop persistent anxiety disorders, PTSD, and so on. And you don't have to necessarily have like a one discrete trauma to develop PTSD. It could be just multiple little micro traumas.
Some may not meet the criteria for a PTSD diagnosis, but can still experience irritability or panic attacks. There are several steps you can take for dealing with election stress. Be thoughtful of how much political content you consume. Isolation is increasing mental health problems, so talk with friends and family. And take time to exercise, get good sleep, and explore treatment options. Still to come, a final check of your forecast. Welcome back. Before we go, we want to show you what everyone's watching this morning and really in the days to come. It's the Electoral College. Just moments ago, Joe Biden winning Wisconsin, according to the Associated Press. We still have plenty of Electoral College votes to count, but as of right now, Joe Biden currently has 248 to President Trump's 213. We're going to keep following this throughout the day. Many people still waiting on Michigan and Nevada. Nevada officials already saying they will not provide another update until 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll post that as soon as we get it to our website and social media. Real quick, a final check of this forecast on this Wednesday, Elena.
Yeah, we're at 72 right now. That's pretty nice. It's going to be mostly sunny and stable with those 70s this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, then below average and picking up with the winds Friday as we bottom out to those 50s come this weekend. Very slight chance of showers, Danielle, maybe snow flurries in the mountains.
Exciting, Elena. Thank you. That's going to do it for us here at 11. For the very latest, always visit our website, turn to23.com.